A special needs trust has a particular function. Normally, we talk about special needs trust when we have an individual that has special needs that is receiving or will receive certain types of government benefits like Medicaid or Social Security, because those particular types of benefits calculate the amount of assets that a person owns in determining the individual's eligibility. And that eligibility threshold is very low. What a special needs trust does is it allows the individual with special needs then to have access to assets to improve their quality of life potentially, but also because they don't own them, then they will remain eligible for those government benefits. So let's say you have a child with special needs and you want to make sure that they're eligible to receive a share of your estate, but also remain eligible for those government benefits. Then we set the trust up during your lifetime. You're the trustee. At the time of your death, a successor trustee takes over, and then a share of your estate is funneled into that trust and basically funds the trust. But since the individual with special needs never has an ownership interest in those assets, they never own them, then the government ignores them for the purpose of calculating eligibility for benefits. Special needs is a term that can be used very broadly. I mean, we think about any sort of diagnosis, autism spectrum disorder, Down syndrome. There's lots of different things that we can call special needs. Really, the question here is, does the individual that we're considering currently receive certain government benefits, or will they? Do we reasonably anticipate that they will during their lifetime? If the answer to that question is yes, regardless of their on-paper diagnosis, then a special needs trust is probably an appropriate vehicle for them. You really do need an attorney to assist with special needs planning because it's fraught with pitfalls. The penalties for mistakes are pretty severe. There's two common types of special needs trusts, and using the wrong type can be problematic. And then also, you need to make sure that the special needs trust is situated in a comprehensive estate plan. I have a great deal of experience with special needs planning. This has been part of my law practice since my very first days in law practice. Special needs planning is really very near and dear to me for a couple of reasons. The first one is my wife is a special education teacher. When we first met, she opened my eyes to this whole world of individuals, special populations, and maybe even more personal than that is the fact that I have a son who has autism spectrum disorder. And so I've seen for myself how important it is to make sure that families with special needs children, with individuals with special needs, have the knowledge to plan appropriately. I think our clients hire us to be their representation for a wide variety of reasons, but the biggest one, I think, is authenticity. We limit the number of clients we take in on a monthly basis because we want to spend the adequate amount of time with each client to make sure that we really understand you, we understand your circumstances, and we're not shipping out the same set of documents for every client, but it's highly personalized. The other thing that I think a lot of clients really enjoy is the fact that we're very educationally focused. We want you as a client to be empowered to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. I don't adopt a prescriptive approach. I'm not here to tell you what you need. I'm here to help you understand exactly what the options are to achieve the goals that you have. I think our current and past clients would both agree that they had an exemplary experience. I think that they would genuinely say that they were met with caring and compassion, that they were heard and listened to, and they achieved exemplary results. Client communication is the most important thing, in my opinion, and that's why I work very hard to keep the channels of communication open. My goal is to return an email inquiry within 24 hours. I try very hard to return telephone calls calls the same day that I receive them, because I want you to know that I am listening to what you're saying, I'm working on your case, and I'm sensitive to your concerns. We are a very small firm, and we're a small firm by design. When I was in law school, I worked for a very, very small law firm, and my boss had been in the practice of law for longer than I've been alive, and so she had developed these rich relationships with clients, sometimes going across multiple generations, 2 and 3 generations of family members. And I was really blown away by the fact that she was able to do that. And it wasn't just a transaction; it wasn't a name or a file or a dollar amount. The goal when I established this firm was to recreate that experience and to be able to develop those deep, meaningful relationships with clients. So I will not hand your case off to another lawyer because I'm the only lawyer here. I feel really strongly about developing that relationship between the attorney and the client. Now, that being said, I don't hesitate to say if I feel like we're not a good match, if it's not a type of matter that I feel totally comfortable handling, or I feel like you may benefit from another lawyer better, I will certainly refer you to another lawyer. But once we've signed the agreement, I'm going to be doing the work on your case. A special needs trust case consultation starts in a way that looks very much like kind of any other case consultation, because the biggest mistake I see is the fact that other attorneys they forget to consider special needs planning in a global sense. What we need to do is plan for the existence of a special needs trust in a comprehensive way. And so the conversation flows very much in the way that we might for any other will or trust or any other estate planning conversation, because we're going to talk about your family, we're going to talk about your assets, we're going to talk about your goals. And then we're going to take that information and we're going to craft a plan that specifically accounts for your unique circumstances.